Thank you very much. I'd like to add my thanks to Dr. Allen for her intensely personal and inspiring message. It was really an absolutely pleasure to hear. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to briefly acknowledge the college's leadership and thank them for the role they've played in the education of our students. Dr. Edward Halpern, the Chancellor and CEO of New York Medical College, who's taking on additional responsibilities. Thank you, Dr. Halpern. Dr. Robert Amler and Dr. Ronnie Myers, Deans of the School of Health Sciences and Practice and Dental Medicine, respectively on campus here, who've collaborated with the School of Medicine on many initiatives and joint programs. Thank you. And members of the Board of Trustees, Joseph Mark, whom you've heard from, Ronald Poe, the former chairman of the board, who's been a longstanding wonderful board member, and Dr. Robbie Sina, a new member of our board. Thank you for joining us today, and thanks for your support. I'd like to add my thanks to the family and friends and supporters of the students today. Although med school for me was a few years ago, I do remember that it occasionally posed some challenges, and that without the support of the people who love us and the people who've befriended us, it's hard to make it through, and particularly through the tough times of COVID that you've had to face with the uncertainty that every day brought, both for society and for you personally. The support of the people here today was so crucial in getting you through. So thank all of you. So graduates, before conferring your degree, I'd like to share a couple of thoughts. All of you, I'm sure, have carefully examined exactly what residency will entail. And we're very proud of the fact that all of you have, as you've heard, matched in different specialties at great programs, many in New York, but also around the country. And if you're like other students that I've spoken to, you've counted the number of hours you expect to work during your residencies. And of course, no hospital in this country will ever violate the 80-hour rule. So we know it's all going to be okay. But that said, I do want to comment a little bit on something you may have heard about that's become a very common way that people look at their lives. And that's work-life balance. And of course, it's extraordinarily important that we have family and friends. And you heard from our guest speaker, Dr. Allen, about how she was able to accomplish tremendous amounts professionally while still being part of a closely knit family. So spending time with our family and friends in whatever manner we choose, engaging in recreational activities, is extraordinarily important. But at least for the next few years, and if you're like most physicians, you'll spend about half of your waking hours at work. So if you think about the term work-life balance, it suggests that life is what you do outside of work, and work, of course, is non-life. And what a shame if you spend half or more of your waking hours in non-life. After all, we're only given a certain amount of time in this world. And I want to suggest to you, particularly as physicians who've had the opportunity to engage in tremendously important and noble work, that's particularly important at these challenging times when society has been divided and fractured so much by some pernicious influences. It's extremely important, I think, that we view things in a very different way than work-life balance. While you're at work as physicians, you'll make friends with your patients. You'll make friends with your colleagues. You'll do fun things with them. You'll spend time developing your intellectual skills, developing your social skills, learning new things about compassion for other human beings, learning how to work as a team, learning the things that make us human. You'll spend time playing tennis or pickleball with your colleagues. And that time is just as an essential part of life as the time you spend away from your professional lives. There's so much to be done in our society, so much that the education you've been given creates the possibilities of your accomplishing. That what I want to suggest to you is, rather than viewing work and life as two distinct poles, that you view work as a part of what we're here for. That of course you need to spend time for yourselves, but that through your work in the great profession of being a physician, the tremendous chance you have to work as a physician, that you use that time to develop yourself personally, but more importantly, to give back to society, and particularly those members of society who are most in need of it. Many centuries ago, the sages of the Talmud valued work. Some suggested that idleness was the road to dissolution. Others purposely carried burdens on their shoulders to show their students that physical work could be ennobling as well. Regardless of where you fit in medicine, regardless of whose footsteps you choose to follow, you have the opportunity to do great things for a society that really needs it. Integrate work and life, do us proud, be successful in the future. Come back to New York Medical College, tell your classmates, your professors, your deans, how you've accomplished your mission and how you've enjoyed life as well. We look forward to hearing from you. And so with that introduction, it's time to actually make you doctors. So if I could ask the students to all stand, please. Class of 2023. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of New York Medical College and the Board of Regents of the State of New York, I hereby award the degree of Doctor of Medicine to each of you recommended by the faculty, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations that relate to it. Congratulations, doctors. Sounds like a walk-off home run in here. You can have a seat. Dr. Garrick.